Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first Kayfabe Central podcast of 2026, the first post show of 2026, the first video on the Kayfabe Central YouTube channel of 2026. I hope we're all doing good. I hope we all had a great New Year's, a great Christmas, a great holiday, but we're back to the regular scheduling. We're back to how it always is. We are here with the AEW Dynamite New Year's Smash post show review. That went down last night. Obviously, I didn't do a post show. I didn't even do coverage for it because yesterday was my birthday. So I decided to take that day to relax a little bit, have some fun, and I'll be back today. And here I am. We are going over AEW Dynamite New Year's Smash. If you're in the chat, let me know. Let me see you in the chat. Yeah, man, we're gonna go right into AEW Dynamite New Year's Smash. Before we do, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel if you're not already. Hit the notification bell so you're up to date with all the videos, podcasts, and interviews that come to the channel. Check out the Kayfabe Central website. That's where I post all my coverage posts, articles, written predictions, all that good stuff is up on the Kayfabe Central website. So make sure you guys check all that stuff out. Check out the TikTok page. I post a variety of different content over there. So make sure you guys check all that good stuff out. Um, yeah, that's all the self promo out the way. Obviously, the Instagram page, all that stuff is in the description below. So you guys can go over there and check out all that stuff. Follow me on all social medias, including X/Twitter, where I post some new stuff, a whole bunch of other things, and random stuff over there on Twitter as well. So make sure you guys check all that good stuff out. We are set to get underway with the first Kayfabe Central podcast of 2026. Let's get going. We had AEW Dynamite New Year's Smash last night. A really solid show to close out 2025 last night. Really solid stuff last night from Dynamite and AEW. It was a very well put together show. Nothing felt like it dragged on too long. Nothing felt like it was out of place. Nothing felt like it just was bad. I enjoyed this show from top to bottom, and I had a lot of fun watching it. And maybe I had even more fun because for the first time in a while, I didn't do coverage for a weekly show. So that helped a lot as well. Um, Obviously, this was not pre-taped. This was a live event. So shout out to the guys wrestling on New Year's Eve, man. Shout out to them. They did a phenomenal job last night. Yeah, so the show opened with the new AEW World Champion MJF. He came out and he unveiled a new Triple B, new AEW World Title. He unveiled it. We kind of figured that he was going to do this because it's MJF and he's been talking about wanting his Triple B back. So he unveils that. You know, I will say I only saw the clips of this promo because the first, I want to say 15 minutes of Dynamite I missed. I was a little bit late to turn it on because I was dealing with some other stuff prior to that. But then when I eventually did turn it on, I think I was dealing with like some like dinner and all that stuff for my birthday and whatever. So turned it on like 15 minutes late. So I did miss this promo live, but I watched it back afterwards. And MJF is just great, man. He is just such a phenomenal talker. He's so good. Like I've watched his interviews recently, and he's just so good at like everything he does, man. And like if there's somebody who deserves to be world champion, it is MJF. But he's interrupted by Kenny Omega on the Titantron, who tells MJF he wants a world title again. He wants to be champion again. And this isn't about being a belt collector. This isn't about being the cleaner. This is just about one championship, and it's the one that MJF is holding, the AEW World Championship, the Triple B. Kenny Omega says he doesn't care that if he doesn't care if he has to scratch and claw his way to that AEW World title. He is going to do whatever it takes to prove himself that he can get there and be champion once again. So good stuff there from Kenny Omega. I'd always love to see a Kenny and MJF match. Um, yeah, that'd be fantastic. Hangman Adam Page then came out from the crowd, followed by Swerve Strickland. They were held back by security. I'm literally going off my notes here because this part I fully didn't see. They were held back by security. And MJF told them the typical, you got to earn your title shot. You guys got to earn your title shots. Um, and so after that, um, some stuff went down, and MJF ran away. MJF ran away. The ops then appeared on the screen. Samoa Joe could plead his case for why he should be next to challenge MJF instead. Of course, he's the former AEW World Champion. So a promo that set up a lights out match between Swerve Strickland and Hangman Adam Page versus Powerhouse Hobbs and Hook. So that is happening next week on the first Dynamite of of 2026. So I apologize. That was a little bit of a mouthful because I was strictly just going off the notes I had written down. Um, and because I did not see that live, um, I just wrote down what happened and I didn't even bother to check out the rest of the segment. But I did see the opening portion of MJF's promo, so that was some good stuff. The conglomeration backstage were with Timeless Tony Storm. This is about where I turned on Dynamite, which is crazy that the opening segment went like 15 minutes. Usually, Dynamite segments aren't even that long, but you had a lot of moving parts in there, and like something like that, it makes sense to have 15 minutes. And to be honest, 15 minutes, you got to do the pyro at the start of the show. It's not a bad. It's not bad. And like obviously this whole segment itself didn't go 15 minutes. Like I mentioned, like you still have the pyrotechnics and stuff. You still have them promoting the match card and stuff. So it went a little under, so still fairly quick there. Um we had a very weird interaction though with Orange Cassidy and Timeless Tony Storm backstage though, and Mina Shirakawa looked like she was getting jealous. Tony Storm said Orange Cassidy's not her type. I don't know what was happening here. I didn't really care for it. This is the one part of this show where I was like, I don't really care. Like I don't understand what's going on here. But they do have a match set up. That was the Death Riders, Daniel Garcia, Claudio Castagnoli, and Marina Shafir defeating the conglomeration of Orange Cassidy, Roderick Strong, and Tony Storm in a mixed tag team tornado match. This was a lot of fun. Kind of like a repeat of what they did at World's End, but I didn't think that they were going to do anything too crazy on the show. They were just going to have some fun matches, and that's exactly what they did. Um, and this was fun. The Death Riders get their revenge from World's End. And at the end of this match, we cut to commercial during this moment. But Roderick Strong helped up Orange Cassidy, offered him his hand. So it kind of seems like Roderick Strong is getting a little bit more comfortable with the conglomeration. I was wondering for a while if he was going to turn heel, or maybe we were going to get the turn right there. It would have been interesting potentially if Roddy had turned heel and joined Marina and the Death Riders, since Marina is his wife, but they seem to not want to play into that, which I can totally understand, and I'm completely fine with that because commentary didn't really point out that they were married. At least from what I caught, they didn't point that out. Um, but yeah, this was a fun match. Fun match to kick off Dynamite, the last Dynamite of the year. I have nothing else really to say about that match other than it was a lot of fun. Um, Bandito defeated Beast Mortos. This was really cool to see Beast Mortos on AEW Dynamite, especially after seeing him at Demand Lucha not too long ago. He's just a all-around great guy. He's a hilarious guy as well, and he's a fantastic wrestler. This was a fun match. Bandito and Beast Mortos are two guys that know what they're doing in there every single time and always can get it done, always know how to entertain a crowd. We had a spot in this match where Bandito was doing like the bull thing. He held like the flag and Beast Mortos was trying to grab him and then they were doing that, so that was kind of entertaining. Throw a little bit of fun in here. It was the last Dynamite of 2025. They're gonna have some fun. And this match was a lot of fun too. But Bandito picks up the win. He is set up for a AEW World Championship match against MJF in 2 weeks at Maximum Carnage, after winning the Dynamite Diamond Ring. So that match is happening. So Bandito gained some more momentum. Um, we then had a standby match is what they announced it as, because before they went to commercial, we had the advertisement that coming up next was Josh Alexander and John Moxley. But when we came back, we went to Brody King versus Lee Johnson. So I'm not sure what happened here. Stuff like this has happened before. Maybe like they just weren't ready or something like that, and they very quickly put something together, and Brody King pretty much just squashes Lee Johnson. Maybe we're setting up for a Brody King singles run here. Obviously, Bandito is off, doing some single stuff now. He's got a world title match, like I just mentioned. But maybe Brody King is down the same road as well. Brody King can get it done in the ring. So I wouldn't be opposed to that. I think he's a great wrestler. Um, in terms of how his character is going to be solo, that's still to be seen, because more uh like his time in AEW has been more of with teams or factions than it has been solo. So if he does go solo, it's going to be very interesting to see how it turns out. Obviously, I'm hoping for nothing but the best for him. But yeah, you know, it was a whatever match. Brody King defeats Lee Johnson. Um, Darby Allin had a little vignette promo saying that he wants to end things with the Death Riders, but he has one thorn in his side, and that's Pac. And he wants to get rid of Pac. He wants to beat Pac because it's eating him alive, and he needs to end this for good. Later in the night, we had a Death Rider segment as well. I might as well talk about this now, where Wheeler Yuta said, you want Pac? No, you're gonna get me first. So it seems like maybe next week on Dynamite we'll get Wheeler Yuta and Darby Allin, or maybe that's at Maximum Carnage. But we are setting up for Pac versus Darby Allin once again, which again I don't know how much interest I have in it, because this Death Riders Darby Allin storyline has just been dragging out for quite some time now. So I'm not like entirely excited for it. I like Pac. I don't like the singlet he wears. And I like Darby Allin. But man, we need to find some new stuff for these guys. So I am hoping that this is very near the end for this storyline. And I assume we're gonna have some brutal moments still for Darby, because he just puts his body on the line every single time he goes out there. But yeah, I'm kind of hoping for an end to this very soon, which it seems like we will be getting. We had an eliminator match for a potential shot at the AEW Continental Championship, where John Moxley took on Josh Alexander of the Don Callis family. John Moxley picks up the win by submission. A fantastic match, and Josh Alexander just proves why he is such a good professional wrestler. If you, like I've mentioned before, if you've watched him in TNA, you know how good this guy is. He can get it done. And I want to make the argument that at one point while Alexander was in TNA, he was one of the best wrestlers in the entire world. And obviously this guy's an Ontario wrestling icon, and you guys know how close I am with the Ontario wrestling scene and everything like that. So yeah, Josh Alexander just proved that he's so damn good in this match that he held his own with John Moxley, a former AEW world champion, a guy that's, the heart of AEW, he held his own with. So I'm hoping we get more Josh Alexander singles matches, and he gets more of an opportunity to prove that he is such a damn good professional wrestler. After the match, though, MVP and Shelton Benjamin came out and stared down John Moxley. Didn't say a word, just stared down with him. And obviously hinting that Shelton Benjamin wants that. That eventually set up a segment that Moxley had later on, saying he welcomes it. And that set up a match, I believe, next week for another eliminator match. I can't speak today, apparently. Some things don't change in the new year. Um, but that sets up a match next week between John Moxley and Shelton Benjamin in an eliminator match, for a potential shot at the Continental Championship. So that's gonna be a good one. I'm totally down for just banger matches with John Moxley. I'm totally down for it. Um, I want to say it's a good possibility that Shelton maybe beats Moxley next week. I don't know if he's gonna lose this early, but like obviously he's not gonna lose the championship. If Shelton Benjamin beats him, then he gets a title opportunity. And so it's gonna be very interesting to see. But it's gonna be a fun match. I have no doubt about that. Both of these guys are so good. I gave both of those guys praises on my 2025 End of Year awards. So that's gonna be really fun. We had a segment with the Triangle of Madness, Sky Blue, Julia Hart, and Tekla all looking great as usual. And it was mainly Tekla actually just sending a warning to Chris Statlander. Julia Hart, Sky Blue jumped into the promo as well. But Tekla is being set up as a potential next challenger for Chris Statlander's AEW Women's World Championship. As I expected, I can imagine that match is happening very soon. Um, the way I'm looking at it, it's either Tekla or Megan Bayne who takes that AEW Women's World Title off of Chris Statlander. Those two just make the most sense at the moment. Because I'm trying to think of anybody else, and I can't think of anybody else who's in that pivotal of a role right now to take the title off of her. Like, obviously, it's not going to be Willow. We're going to be talking about her later on. It's not going to be Harley Cameron. It's not going to be Mercedes. It's not going to be Athena. There's really nobody else, and you really label it down to Tekla and Megan Bayne. So, hey, maybe we get a triple threat with those three as well. So, but I think it's down to those two. But solid enough segment here from Tekla. Tekla's, getting better and better on the mic and her promos and all that stuff. So this was good. And I'm starting to see like tiny, tiny bits of improvement from Sky Blue and Julia Hart in these promos. And that's what I wanted because I think this group has a lot of potential, and it's just the promos from Sky. Sky specifically, as much as I love Sky Blue, and I do love Sky Blue, but I think that she needs to work on her promos a little bit more to fit into the aesthetic of the Triangle of Madness. Um, and I think once that's down, and once they get the in-ring part down as well, completely, I think they're set. I think they're good. And this could be a faction that completely runs the women's division. Um, we had an AEW National Championship match. Ricochet defended the title against Jungle Jack Perry in a great match, but Ricochet retains in the end, defeating Jungle Jack Perry. I don't think anybody expected Jack Perry to win this match, but it was a fun match nonetheless. The GOA got involved. I can't remember if it was Toa Leona that grabbed the foot of Jungle Jack Perry, but that allowed Ricochet to hit the clothesline. I'm forgetting what he calls it now. I remember and I keep forgetting every single time. But he hits that clothesline and wins and retains the national championship. Um, we then went to the main event. So obviously not like a stacked show of Dynamite, but still a lot of important things that were thrown into, a small group of things, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Um, and there's a lot of fun things here, despite it not having a lot, if that makes sense. But we ended up getting to the main event, which was a singles match for the AEW TBS Championship. Mercedes Moné defends the title against Willow Nightingale, and we have a new TBS champion. Willow Nightingale defeats Mercedes Moné. The downfall of Moné continues. I did not expect this. I thought the TBS championship was going to be the last title that that Mercedes dropped. I thought she was going to drop like the Rev Pro, CMLL, all that first, and then it was going to be the TBS title. Tony Khan seems to love the double champion stuff, and we see that a lot more in wrestling these days, which, like, in some cases, yes, it works. And I think it could work with Willow's case as well. Willow and Harley, I think they're good. Um, and maybe this could work with Willow being a double champion. If there's somebody that deserves it, it's absolutely her. She's been busting her ass since day one in AEW. So Yeah, this was surprising. This was a very good match though. A very good match. Willow Nightingale wins the final match of 2025 and it was amazing. It was so good. These two women tore the house down. They did not disappoint at all. And obviously I have my feelings towards the CEO gimmick and she did the male models holding the titles again. And I don't like the song, I don't like the gimmick, but I will never, ever, ever take away the in-ring talent of Mercedes Moné because she is so damn good in that ring, and so was Willow, and they tore the absolute house down, man. They did a phenomenal job here. And I was just in awe. I'm like, man, what a way to close out the year. What a way. A banger match and a new champion in Willow Nightingale, who everybody loves. I haven't met a single person who dislikes Willow Nightingale. And if you do, I think maybe you're the problem. Um, but yeah, Willow Nightingale wins the TBS championship, and it was great. I'm happy for her. So congratulations to Willow Nightingale. Um, I'm curious now as to where this is going to go. I'm curious how they're going to manage the double champion stuff with Willow, and how they're going to manage, the tag division and Willow defending the TBS title. Maybe it becomes like more of a TV title and she defends it every week and they make the tag titles more important and have that on pay-per-views. Because I don't think Willow's pulling double duty on every single pay-per-view. Maybe she does though. Maybe I'm underestimating her like everybody else has always done, and she proves us wrong every single time. So maybe it's one of those cases. But um, she did great here. I think she's up for a great run potentially. And yeah, I'm happy for Willow. I love Willow. Willow is probably my favorite women's wrestler on the roster, so I'm not gonna complain about her winning anything. And that might be a little bit of biasness, but again, I have never met anybody that hates Willow. I didn't, hear anybody complaining about this either. Um, and again, the downfall of Mercedes Moné, it's gonna be very interesting to see how she's going to be when she loses all of the titles. She was crashing out last night. She's been crashing out. She's losing her mind. And each title is slipping away from her. Um, but that was AEW Dynamite for December 31st, 2025. Let me know what you guys thought. We are on the final stretch here, so if you are in the live chat, let me know your thoughts on AEW Dynamite. Let me know your thoughts on anything else. Drop any questions you may have in the chat on this final stretch. And if you are watching this after the fact, make sure you guys let me know your thoughts down in the comments as well. And I will read them. I always read the comments. Sometimes I forget because I don't get email notifications for the comments, so I have to like physically go on YouTube sometimes, and then I see there's comments. But make sure you guys go let me know your thoughts, whether you're in the live chat right now or you're watching this after the fact. Let me know. There's a variety of different ways you can let me know your thoughts as well, whether it be Instagram, whether it be Twitter, whether it be the TikTok page, whether it be the Kayfabe Central website, whether it be the Discord server, which is also linked down below as well. There's a variety of different ways you guys can get to me and reach out to me and let me know your thoughts and opinions, whether you agree or disagree with me. I always love hearing you guys' thoughts and opinions. So make sure you guys let me know all that good stuff. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you're up to date with all the videos, podcasts, and interviews that come to the channel. And I am going to call it a day here. This has been your AEW Dynamite post show, the first Kayfabe Central podcast of 2026. Once again, let me know your thoughts all down in the comments. I will see you guys on the next one. Take it easy.